The government is resolute in engaging key stakeholders in discussions on the contentious lithium lease agreement, actively seeking parliamentary involvement to address uncertainties before construction begins on the concession. Minister for Natural Resources Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo expressed satisfaction with the current agreement during a civil society organization's engagement in Accra, emphasizing the 10% royalties and the potential for value addition within the country. Freduho has more details.
The sector minister, Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo, backing the mining lease agreement between Ghana and Barari DV, a subsidiary of the Atlantic Lithium Company, for the lithium exploration in Ewoya in the central region, assured the stakeholders that the deal prioritizes adding value to the country's green minerals. Despite concerns from civil society organizations and stakeholders, the sector minister highlighted the significance of listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange for indigenous participation, marking a groundbreaking move in the country's mining history.
This whole transaction is very complex. There are a lot of things that still has to happen. The building of the chemical plant, the listing on the stock exchange, the indigenous participation, and so the pricing, how to ensure that we monitor the production and declarations and so on and so forth. And I think that civil society will have a key, important role to play in that. And that is where I will plead that our focus and attention should be how we are going to implement this lease, beginning from now to ratification, to implementation stage, building the mine itself, and also the provisions we put in there which will give maximum benefit to the Ghanaian people, how we're going to work together to ensure that it happens. And I want to promise you, as a minister responsible for lands and natural resources, I am fully committed to working with civil society. My doors are open, and any day, anytime, let us engage for the good of our country.
The minister reiterated the government's contentment with the agreement's terms, urging the people of Ghana to support and fully benefit from the resource.
Government is fully satisfied with the terms we've reached with this company, and we did so thoroughly for a long period of time. We crossed the T's, we dot the I's, and we've come to the conclusion that this arrangement is absolutely in the interest of the people of Ghana.
Responding to concerns raised by the paramount chief of Mankesim, His Eminence Osajifo Amanfo Edu VI, Minister Jinapo assured community engagement with stakeholders.
This is the first time a community development fund is being negotiated and legislated upon. This is the first time. The mining companies in our country historically had the discretion to determine what amount of money or what revenue they will assign for community development. That's a fact. The mining companies, historically, see, am I right in saying so? Yes, the mining companies had their discretion to say, look, we are going to allocate, 10 million, 20 million for community development to build boreholes and that and that and that. This is the first time we have put in a mining lease a clause that says that there will be the establishment of a community development fund for the catchment area of the mining operations, the community where the mining operation is going to take place, and it's going to be 1%. And per the initial calculation, conservatively, minimum, we are talking about $6 million a year for the development of the community. But what I would say to the revered chief is that we will engage them. We have a whole program of countrywide engagement.
Despite opposition from the Vice President of Imani Africa, who sees room for more favorable deal, Minister Jinapo's stance remains firm.
The point is not whether you know how much mineral is there, which is what you do through exploration and development of the mine. The point is when you have a suspicion that there's minerals there, through earlier geological studies, like we had for lithium, we knew there was lithium in that region, that Cape Coast Birimian part, all the way in 1916. In 1972, the Geological Service did a study. The lady who wrote the seminal paper on that is actually the person for whom the geology prize at the University of Ghana is named, Dr. Mwakumensa. She did that definitive study. We knew that there was lithium in the area. We just didn't know how much lithium there was in the area. So whether it was commercial or not, they are very different things. Right? We know there's lithium there, and we want people to go and explore and find out how much, why can we not use auction? How can we say it's an open tender? If you are interested, come and bid for the license. And then it looks at all the terms that you have, including some prospective terms. There's nothing wrong with that. And the reason why I have it is not that it will give us necessarily bigger fiscal outcomes. The reason why I push for that is that it's a marketing tool to make us all aware of what is happening in the country in the mineral sector. And in addition to that, it attracts more, sometimes better equipped investors than the ones that we've been getting. That's why we are pushing for this approach.
The co-chair of the Ghana Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, Dr. Steve Mantiao, deems the lease agreement best for Ghana, but calls for a change in mining law if Ghanaians are dissatisfied with the current terms.
Whoever says this is Ghana's best deal so far is right. Unless we can show a deal which is superior in terms of the fiscal provisions. I am even surprised that we appear to be cool with mining giants like Newmont, Anglo Gold, and Goldfields paying 3% royalty and rejecting 10% royalty for lithium, when gold fetches more on the market than lithium. This deal compares favorably. I'm just coming from Tanzania last Sunday, and I took the trouble to look at the East African fiscal terms and all that, and including Tanzania. Their royalty for all minerals, including renewable. In fact, they don't even have a separate renewable energy policy. We have gone ahead of them, and we advise them to think in that direction. Their royalty is 6%.